This is the layout update. So I know since you've last seen it, it has changed a lot. So let's start with the elephant in the room. Well, it's been ballasted. The ballast is weathered. The track is weathered. The track work is now complete other than cleaning the paint off the top of some rails. All the track work, all across the board, is now complete. Elephant in the room number 2. I probably shouldn't have this many elephants in the room, but I do. The station. The platform has been elongated with an extra straight Hornby piece and a first radius curve Hornby piece. The station building has been swapped out and replaced with a Metcalfe country station. And this was a fantastic change because it allows me now to fully fit 3 Pullman coaches onto the platform length, and was definitely a worthy decision. The painting and weathering on the station building is not finished at all, and I still have plenty to go over there. The sides of the platform were done with Slater's Plasticard O-gauge brick because that model railway guy had mentioned that they were a nice size, and so I decided to take the advice and go with it for my own layout. 2, I plan on this bit here being a small war memorial area, greatly inspired by somewhere from my childhood that I had visited only once or twice, but I have memories of still. And so I intend very much on that being a World War II memorial, and quite a new one as well. The era for the layout has changed from being heritage quite early on to now being a late 40s, early 50s layout, which allows me to flip-flop from grouping or British Railways whenever I want, which is nice. And that is absolutely how I'm intending to move forward with this layout from now on. Also, taking into consideration that the layout used to be a Great Western Railway, or South Wales Railway location, only recently realising that almost nothing on the layout actually resembled the Great Western Railway region, and therefore I have decided to switch the location to a Southern Railway located station terminus branch line, but with LMS access. I wanted to increase my variety of trains. Not LMS access, LNER access. Although, because it is located in the southern region, I could change this depending on what I feel like running at any given time. I did this because I wanted to increase the amount of variety I could run on the layout, and also just sort of enjoy all sorts of different trains and make it thematical sense. Back to the layout. It's now more populated and tidier. The trees have been removed for ease of working on the layout. The road has been extended, which is what I'm in the process of doing now. A small crossing keeper's cottage has been added. But there. This is a lovely Wills kit, and I highly suggest anyone go out and purchase it. The old Hornby water tower is still in place, and a new Metcalfe signal box has replaced the old one, which will be spruced up and worked on. The cottage over here is not quite scratch built. It is one of the Hornby cottage / station buildings that they sell for ridiculously high prices and just that aren't very good quality or look very good at all, with more of the same stone brick sheeting that I used for the platform surrounded it, and a small caboose kitchen and chimney added to the layout. The siding going into the station now has a extra first or second radius curve on the end, also to extend just how long it is, and also the station fits a lot cozier now onto that siding. Areas of the station have had to be cut down as these curves here on the Hornby track mat, as the layout was originally constructed, are first radius, and so coaches would buffer up along and brush up along the station platform, and so that had to be quite substantially cut down, but not in a way that will affect the look of the railway at all. An engine shed, I picked that up for an absolute bargain. I think I bought that for about £4. Second or third hand, I actually have no idea. It's a Dapol engine shed, and I think it fits the layout quite well. A Wills kit coal dock is also placed there, and that will be painted up and all. But the other elephant in the room is that I've painted the Hornby station shelter and still have a lot of work to do to that platform and station. I intend on making it quite and just as magnificent as the station over there. Little disclaimer, if you hear any lawnmower sounds in the background, I apologise for that, but that is not something that I can change, unfortunately. Now, here we have the biggest elephant in the room, undeniably, is I have added a point coming off here and into a pretty simple goods yard. I decided that I should have this because I was extremely unhappy with the amount of sidings on the layout and wanted to increase train storage capacity as well as add interest, because the Hornby track starter system is set up in a way where you purchase more and more extension packs as it goes along, and I had only extended my track plan up to track extension pack D. Now, the other track extension packs add this point here, take it round, fourth radius curves all the way up to there, before going off into two sidings and an engine shed if that's what you want to do. It also adds a siding coming off there, and that being the new station location. I felt that I didn't want my track plan to be like that, and also we didn't want to unpin all of the track and move it over just so that we could have two extra sidings over there. So I instead decided to have a point here. This was before I think I even knew about larger radius points, and therefore the second radius point, set track point, barely does fit. And then this is actually a piece of flexi track that takes it all the way around. Now, it was damaged in postage, which means that in some areas it's actually not quite level. I was not very happy with that, and I was extremely disappointed. And it means that some wagons, some on the lighter side, do have a tendency to derail on that siding, which is not good. So it means I'm going to have to now spend more on weights for all of my wagons. The goods shed is, of course, a Metcalf, pretty iconic Metcalf kit, and I think it's a very pleasant Metcalf kit. I've also painted the side to hide all the cardboard seams and make it look better. I will eventually be doing this and more weathering to all of the brickwork. It looks very drastic on camera. It's a lot more blended in real life. This retaining wall, it's just cardboard and Metcalf brick, double O gauge brick sheets wrapped all the way around it. Nothing much done there, and that is just sealed in with hot glue. I'm very happy with the goods yard. Of course, the biggest regret of the layout is the fact it doesn't have a passing loop, but I don't know if I had space for it, and it is a loop layout, so in situations such as this station here, taking the train to the other side, taking the locomotive to the other side of the train is of course possible. That over there is a Wills, I believe it's a Wills kit goods crane, but it might be a Dapol goods crane. I'm not sure, and I'm sorry I don't have the info for that. Small platform, but there is also that came with the Metcalf, good shed kit. That's a bit of narrow gauge track. After my Thomas the Tank Engine diorama challenge, I had a lot of narrow gauge 009 track left over due to the fact derails only offered a online purchase in a minimum of 4 pieces, and so I will be turning that into an abandoned siding that just goes off, because I feel that makes sense, as the railway might have originally had a transfer point for narrow gauge trains from a colliery or slate quarry to just come and transfer their goods over to standard gauge, and maybe it's disused and British Railways decided to close it down as they found no need for it anymore. I'll just put that back tidy. But I'm about to continue with road smoothing, as I feel the grit of sandpaper I had originally chose was a little too gritty and I need to smooth it back. I am going to add patches of static grass, as when I first laid the grass on this layout, I did not have a static grass applicator. Therefore, I will be undertaking that. I do have signals for the layout, but they are Great Western Railway, therefore they will have to be entirely converted. I've also gone about purchasing some dry stone walling. Now, this is resin dry stone walling, not any flexible stuff, but it is a slight curve, and I absolutely recommend this. It is the best looking dry stone walling you can get to fit your layout in however you want. Does mean you'll have to cut away at your landscape if you've already laid it, but this is easily the best stuff I have. Unfortunately, I have no idea who the manufacturer is, as I purchased it from my local hobby store, and it was not boxed, and I did not take note of the manufacturer. But I will try my best to find out who made the dry stone walling for my next layout update. The level crossing is still your standard Hornby level crossing. It's good stuff, came with the track mat, looks good. Pico fencing has also now been added to the layout, and I have painted some. The example over there in the goods yard is painted, but the example over there is not painted yet. I adore this fencing. I think it looks absolutely remarkable, and I think it very much suits any sort of scene you could be going for. Trains aren't running at the moment, as it is on the floor for ease of working on it, as where the layout is situated normally, up there. I swear that's from my childhood. I haven't taken it down. As the layout usually resides up there, I'm not the tallest type, and therefore I struggle to reach the back end of the layout, and this gives me full access for working on scenics. I will just do a quick view of the layout from all angles, and I certainly do plan on taking the layout much further than it is now. This layout is not complete, but it's not far off. I have it all set for how I want to go about dealing with this layout and how I want to go about doing it. This point right in front of you, as you can see, that leads off to an engine shed siding. This point here is actually motorized, as when set up and put into its eventual position, this point will not be accessible. Therefore, we wanted to motorize it, though we have not gone about motorizing any other points on the layout, as we felt it unnecessary and overly exhausting, as we can reach and have access to all of those. I'm very pleased with the layout and how it's coming along. I think from most angles it looks good, and I think you can get some really nice shots, and it's not near done. Soon enough, I am to have finished the road, cleaned all the track glitches have been fixed wherever they may be. For the most part, I simply am not sure how at all to fix the completely broken and wonky flexi track that was damaged in postage. So I think I might just have to leave that as it is and investing heavier wagons or ways to make my wagons heavier. I do definitely intend on adding trees and foliage and hedges and bushes and such and all to the layout, and I definitely intend on adding figures and making it feel very alive as a small town in the countryside. Of course, this layout does suffer from the usual track map layout problems, being small radius curves, the fact that, we've got small radius points as well. If I was to improve this layout in any way, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I leave so many comments on videos of people doing their first layout and they're using set track, and I tell them, look, I know you want to use set track, but trust me, if it's on a straight, if the point is on a straight, get flexi track, cut it to size, and use larger radius points. And I'm very upset at companies for not making larger radius points that do fit a set track option. I'm very annoyed that companies don't make larger radius points that might be the length of two straights, or 1.5 straight pieces, and sold a half straight piece with it, or something. I'm very upset that companies aren't more flexible and have open options for their set track plans. I think set track is left in the dust. It's a great gateway for so many people to get into the hobby, as it was for me, and yet is so limiting for those people who really just don't want to get too complicated. So come on, companies, do better. If they made larger radius points and larger radiuses of all sorts and different curve points, and just made the list of set track more broad, I think a lot more people would have more unique layouts and feel more versatile in their layout building. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this much too late layout update. This should have been uploaded 6 months ago, but soon enough, definitely not in a year's time, I'll have another layout update for you, and you'll get to see the progress. Thanks a lot, X-Star viewers. See you next time.